Hey guys, I'm going to talk about training and not diet in this video. And specifically, I'm going to talk about the best rep range for building muscle. Because there are two schools of thought. One of them is, rep range that's a little bit higher, like 10, 12, 15 reps is optimal for building muscle size. And the other school of thought is like 5 reps is better for building muscle size. For a natural athlete especially, somebody who doesn't use performance-enhancing drugs. And the reason is, 5 reps will get you stronger faster. A stronger muscle is a bigger muscle. And that's the rationale behind that. I also tend to believe that sets of like 5 are best for building muscle size as well as strength. And a lot of people disagree. Like I said, a lot of people say, 10, 12, 15 reps are better for building muscle size. And the rationale that a lot of those people use is compare bodybuilders who generally use higher reps to powerlifters or Olympic weightlifters who tend to concentrate mostly on strength, who tend to use lower reps, who tend to use basic exercises, and even though they are pound for pound stronger than bodybuilders who use higher reps have bigger muscles. Maybe they're not as strong, but they have bigger muscles, okay? And I disagree with that reasoning, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of things that people put out as proof for and I'm going to talk about this in a complete different video, how a lot of studies are flawed and a lot of theories are flawed. But the reason why this theory is flawed is you cannot really compare a strength athlete who specializes in as efficiently as possible lifting a heaviest weight to somebody who wants to get bigger muscles and is less concerned about the weight he's lifting. Now let's talk about Olympic weightlifters. For those of you who don't know what Olympic weightlifting is basically means the types of weightlifting that are included in the Olympics, okay? And you've got like the snatch where you got like a weight, on the ground, and you basically just whip it up and put it overhead, okay? And then the clean and jerk where you've got a weight on the ground, you whip it up and lock it in front of your shoulders, and then you whip it up again and catch it when it's overhead. That's basically what you're doing, is you're throwing the weight up in the air and catching it when it's over your head. That's, Olympic weightlifting in a nutshell. What don't they do? Okay? Compare throwing a weight up over your head and catching it to a bodybuilder who will go ahead and he'll alternate dumbbell curls. So he'll hold a dumbbell in his hand and curl it up under tension, concentrating into the muscle. Pause for a second and lower it down under tension. Or, I don't lift weights anymore, but I've started to add weights to my calisthenics. So imagine me, I've got my hands up, got weight around my waist, and I'm holding onto the chinning bar, and I pull myself up under control using my muscles, and I got my chin over the bar, hopefully even my chest touching the bar, hold it there for a second or two, and lower it down under tension until my arms are straight, and then pull myself up under tension, hold for a second or two, and lower under tension. Okay? Compare that to basically whipping weights up in the air, catching them overhead, and a lot of times Olympic weightlifters, even if they're training, they'll lift the weight up over their head, catch it, and then they'll drop it. They won't even lower the weight down. They'll just basically drop it because the point is they want to become as efficient as possible. With as little effort as possible, they want to lift as much weight as possible. So they'll cut out the entire negative portion of the lift. So what I'm basically trying to say is if a bodybuilder has a greater increase in muscle size than a power lifter or an Olympic weightlifter, it's not necessarily because he's using higher reps, it's because he has more time under tension, okay? Time under tension is like the amount of time that a person is stressing his muscles. For instance, if you lift a weight up, curl a weight up, you're getting time under tension, curling the weight up. And if you just drop it down, that there's no time under tension. There's no time that you're stressing your muscles when you drop it down. Compare that to raising the weight up and then raising it down slowly under tension. Now you're getting like double the time under tension. So what I'm saying is, it's not necessarily that bodybuilders tend to use higher reps, and that's the reason why their muscles are getting bigger. It's because everything they do has time under tension. Because once again, you know, what a weightlifter wants to do is use as little effort as possible, lift as heavy weights as possible, because that's the sport, throwing things up and catching them when they're overhead. But like I said, a bodybuilder doesn't care about how much weight he lifts, and he wants to be actually as inefficient, if you'll, you know, understand what I'm saying, as inefficient as possible. Use as much effort as possible to lift, hold the weight, and then use as much effort as possible to lower the weight. And I think that's the reason why, you know, bodybuilders have greater increases in size as opposed to, you know, like a power lifter or an Olympic lifter who has a greater increase in strength but less increase in size. And I believe it's been my experience when I lifted weights doing basic exercises like dinosaur style training, where you only lifted weights with basic exercises a couple times a week. I did a couple sets of low reps, got great results. I did a bodybuilding type routine, you know, Monday arms, Tuesday legs, Wednesday, you know, shoulders, using basic exercises, low reps, got great results. Now I'm doing, you know, weighted calisthenics, okay? A couple sets of low reps, and I'm getting, you know, great results with that too. So basically that's what I'm saying. You know, like the whole concept of building strength but not muscle with low reps and basing your reasoning upon, you know, Olympic weightlifters or powerlifters is flawed. Find what works best for you, obviously, but do not discount low reps for building muscle just because somebody said, you know, that they have some rationale that it's not going to work, because it certainly does work, at least for certain people. And like I said, I'm one of them.